Doing this first jam, it kind of reminded me of all the reasons why I liked the Deluge, and then it reminded me of a lot of the reasons why I didn't keep it the first time around. You know, there were some limitations. I was thinking I would swap it off with the Octatrack because I wanted to do some more sound mangling and sampling, and I don't like the Deluge's workflow for sampling. But it turned out with the Octatrack I was too lazy to learn it, so I never wound up doing all that sampling stuff anyways. And then all the other stuff like MIDI and tracking and stuff like that was harder than on the Deluge, and so I kind of switched back. One of the things I love about the Deluge is that it's so easy just to kind of start making tracks. And first track, here's what I got. Came up with this kind of bass line, I guess, you know, and you can see the entire arrangement, and it's got the sounds too, so that's what makes it different than like the hotbox or something like that. Let's bring in some drums. So it's really easy to get loops going, which is good and bad, right? Let's go ahead and add in some hi-hat action. You know, one of the things that's a little bit different about the Deluge is it allows you to kind of almost do like scenes or patterns using the color code buttons. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to switch to another bass. This is a duplicate, but it's going to bring in the blues that I want. So I do like this filter suite. Let's bring in some blues. The blues, this ain't it. What the hell's going on here? Let's do it over. Okay, let's try that again. Alright, let's bring in the bass line. So that's another thing about the Deluge, right? I mean, it's just software basically in a box, and you may just hit a bug. It's one of the reasons I've never really felt comfortable playing with it live, but I'm kind of doing this video live. We'll see how it goes. Bring in the drums. I hit it with the color code there. Bring this in again. Let's bring in the hi-hats. Then switching to another bass. We know that this works because boost up the resonance and you can hear the filter sweep. Let's bring in the rest of the percussion. Maybe bring in, I think that's a little loud. Let's turn it down. So I really like the quick access that you can have to the different tracks here without leaving the full view. Bring it back down. Another melody line there. So, you know, it's really one of the cool things that I love. Like the color coding again is another way to kind of do scenes or patterns maybe. It's really nice. There's a famous saying that the medium is the message. And I think with the Deluge, it really brings home that, you know, the interface or the layout, the UI of the gear really does influence how you're going to make the music. So yeah, it just reminded me of all the things that I loved about the Deluge, how easy it is to set up tracks, duplicate tracks, how easy it is to navigate the original kind of UI that they designed when they first brought it out. As they added more features, the UI got more and more clunky as they tried to get more functionality in, but with no added buttons. You can't add any more buttons, right? So just different key combinations and stuff and shortcuts that you're trying to do. This is too hard to remember for me. Yeah, and I think beyond that, the synth engine, the sound is okay. But a lot of times, I would really like to be able to affect some stuff, but you only get two outputs, right? The main outputs. And so if I had a synth that I wanted to affect without actually affecting the drums or vice versa, you have to basically just multi-track them in. They may have already added the functionality that allows them to transfer the sound via USB. I think that was probably on the roadmap. But even then, like if you're trying to do jamming, right, and the whole idea would be with a box like this, for me anyway, would be to be jamming DAW-less. So then to import it into the DAW and affect it, it's an option, but it's not my preferred option. The synth engine itself, it's got some cool sounds, but a lot of times I think I start up tracks on the Deluge and then I start using the MIDI. And that's one of the cool things, right? You can take a track like this and, duplicate it and then go into the track here and then just change it to a MIDI channel and it'll send it out to whatever MIDI channel that you got it pointed to. I'll peep jamming and see whether or not the Deluge fits into my current workflow. We'll see how it goes.